Hi, fellow low carbers. My guest today is Sam Feltham. Welcome, Sam.
Hi, good to be here.
Nice having you here. Who are you?
So my name is Sam Feltham. I'm currently the director of a charity based in the UK called the Public Health Collaboration. We're dedicated to informing and implementing healthy decisions for better public health. But formerly, I used to be a personal trainer, as well as I used to run a fitness bootcamp business called Smash the Fat. And some people might know me for my overeating experiments, where I ate 3 different diets for 3 weeks. And that showed basically that calories don't necessarily count, and that different calories react differently depending on the food source. And although I don't run that business anymore, and I've actually shut it down in order to focus on the public health collaboration, people can still read up on my conclusions from those self-experiments on that blog, which is smashthefat.com/blog. Although it doesn't get updated anymore.
No, but it doesn't matter because it's very good. The experiments are just awesome. And if you haven't seen them or read about it, just go there and go through it, because I can really recommend it. If you could describe yourself with 3 words.
Oh gosh. So three words that I'd describe myself is I'd say smiley is probably the first one. That anybody that's seen my YouTube videos or met me in person, smiley is probably the first one. Optimistic, I think, would be the second one on top of that. And then thirdly, I'd say consistent. And kind of I'd put a hyphen in between a dash, so be consistently persistent.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd put myself as a consistently persistent person in terms of what I pursue, in terms of professionally and personally as well.
Okay, that's great to hear. So what led you into the low carb way of living?
So as I previously mentioned, I used to be a personal trainer. And although, qualifying from the European Institute of Fitness as a master personal trainer and all of this, you learn some nutrition in there. But when you get out into the big bad world, you discover that doesn't necessarily give you the whole picture, and it doesn't necessarily get results for clients. And of course, people will always ask you, okay, so what should I eat? Because it's kind of comes together, health and fitness, really. So you start reading up on it, and you find out that there is this massive controversy between whether calories count, whether you should be on a low-fat diet or a low-carb diet. And it was about 2010 that I first read Gary Taubes' book, Why We Get Fat, which is a great introduction into this whole palaver that we've got ourselves into. I read that and kind of, pretty much convinced from the first chapter, really. Because I'd always kind of been skeptical of just a simple calorie model, because I'm naturally slim and I could eat as much as I wanted and I wouldn't put on weight. So I've always thought, surely the opposite is true. People could eat moderate amounts but still gain weight. Also, I used to do a bit of fitness modeling as well. So when you're a fitness model or a bodybuilder, the one macronutrient that you particularly manipulate in order to lose weight or gain weight are carbohydrates. Like any bodybuilder will tell you that, even if they're a calorie counting fanatic, they will tell you I still manipulate carbohydrates in order to cut or to gain weight. So yeah, I kind of went from there and then started advising clients low carbohydrate diets. They started getting results straight away. And so reading more and more, I decided like a few years later that I should
lost the connection.
Go on to
Do you have a bad line?
How's that now?
Oh, now you're online. You're moving now.
I'm back again. That's weird. Okay. It happens. But so I went. The what? Sorry, Britta?
No, the last thing I heard that you got results with your clients as soon as they adapted this diet.
Yeah, precisely. So I started getting results, and then a few years later, I tried to come up with a way that would demonstrate, what the science is showing, and what a lot of the low carb community are trying to tell everybody else. And so I came up with this idea for overfeeding experiments, where I'd eat twice as much as I usually would, but on 3 different diets with a 3-month washout period in between to kind of reset my body. And anybody that's kind of read those kind of shows quite a vast difference between the 3 different diets. One being low carb, one being low fat, fake food, and the other being very low fat and vegan and real foods. They showed quite a different set of results, even though the calorie surpluses were near the same.
Exactly. It's very, very interesting, as I said before. So, what topic within the low carb world is most interesting to you right now?
For me, the most interesting topic is its impact on public health. How much of an impact low carb can have on.
Losing you again.
Public health. And the one thing that I've always been amazed by is the consistent persistence of low carb for a start. But secondly, that low carb has actually survived, even though we currently live in a low fat world, even though you have the government, you have most academic institutions, and the actual public environment of supermarkets and television, even though those 3 are constantly saying you should be eating low fat and even fat free and things like this, low carb has continued to survive. And even in a low fat environment, low carb still gets better results in the randomized controlled trials, the free living ones. So even though they're living in a low fat environment, low carb still gets better results. If that was flipped and we actually lived in a low carb world, where we had government institutions, where we had academic institutions, and we had advertising saying that you should be eating low carb, even though the low sugar message is starting to get out there. There's a lot of dodgy stuff going on saying there's no added sugar, but it's still like 80% carbohydrates, and it's like, well, that doesn't make a difference.
But people are getting the hang of it, I think.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely. We're making small steps forward, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of necessary to kind of go through this whole process.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that low carb still persists and is more successful than low fat, even though we're living in a low fat world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What would you consider to be a true joy in your life? I can guess maybe nowadays.
A true joy. So my true joys. I've just become a father for the first time. Literally, thank you. Literally, coming up 3 weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks at the moment. So I'm just getting used to the lack of sleep. But although kind of there's a serious lack of sleep. She's still a wonder and a joy in my life. My second joy would be my wife as well. Joint first, in fact. So family first, of course. Second would certainly be my purpose to try and help people obtain and maintain a healthy lifestyle. And I'll be pursuing that as long as it's still an issue.
Sounds great. What expectations do you have for the Low Carb Universe?
For the Low Carb Universe, I'm really excited, actually. I've actually been to Port de Soyer about 4 years ago with my wife, in fact. We went on a summer holiday there, and it is a beautiful place.
It is.
Honestly, I'm really looking forward to going back, but I'm also looking forward to meeting some of the speakers that I haven't met yet in person. And also, when you go to events like this, it's incredible the amazing energy that people have, and the positivity of it. So it's the networking, the learning, and just being in that environment where it's so conducive for constructive steps forward for the low carb community.
Exactly. That sounds great. So next time we'll speak will be in November then. And
absolutely, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, we might have a chat before that to sort things out.
I'm sure there'll be a few emails, but I look forward to meeting in person for sure.
Yeah, really, we do. Both me and Hannah, we are so looking forward to meeting you. So, and all the others, of course, and the guests. So,
absolutely.
Thank you very much, Sam. It was really fun talking to you, and take care and enjoy your little baby daughter.
Dankeschön. Auf Wiedersehen.